Hey, so I've been working on this Leatherman Free Series holster that is modular. I know there's a lot of other holster options, or at least a couple good ones that this isn't necessarily looking to replace or anything. But for those of us that like things a little more modular, this one is nice because the still has good retention with the Leatherman. Comes out nice and easy, but won't fall out. However, unlike some, this one uses these grooves on the side, and there's a snap fit there, if it'll focus. And so these pieces just slip on and then snap in place, and then they won't come out. And you can see I've got a couple bits in here as well as the bit extender. But then because it's modular, I could potentially design additional components for the sides. So if you have a flashlight you like to carry, like the TS10, not everyone does. This piece also comes off. They're a little tough to do on camera here, but they pop off. They pop back on. The clip is also modular. So this one, I really like a clip because it makes it easier to pop in and off. But I'm currently testing the durability of this, but I do also have this piece here. You can see it will retain at the bottom as well, and so then it becomes a loop instead of a clip. And so if people have different size belts or things, so I made this for the size belt that I tend to wear, but if you know your belt is a bit wider than what I've already modeled, I could easily tweak the dimensions very easily for other components to make them swap in and out here. This also has retention on there, but I've got both the arc and the P4 implement. I know with the P4 there's this, or the P2 I mean, sorry. The P2 uses this tool, is kind of widely available across the internet, to give it a bit holder. This is one of the earlier things that I was designing for it, but so this one, you can see it just slides up there and then it's attached. This I haven't reprinted this part since I added the clip at the bottom, but this one's staying on with friction alone. So I found the PLA is a bit harder than ABS. I was printing them in ABS for a little while and was having a little bit of issues with durability. So I did break one before I made the back modular. I broke one. This one was in ABS, but it could have been printed with more layer line, or more perimeters would have helped. You can also see, if you see the layer lines are at an angle, so I print it at a not quite a 45-degree angle. That prevents the clip from having weak points right across and breaking off, which would be a easy issue to have with a 3D printed holster like this, because obviously you need the strength this way for the side parts and for this main holster body, but then the clip needs orientation, would best benefit from printing horizontally. And so to benefit from both, print at an angle, but better still, I think, is with this one. Now I can print the clips on its sides to increase its strength pretty dramatically. And so then now the weak point is basically the dovetail, and I put a second interface there on the back. I've also beefed that up a little bit for increased strength on this second design. So I've updated the design a little bit since then to have the taller, or just more material to hold on to for that clip. But that's my design. I'm curious, so I'm considering selling this on Etsy, or putting the STLs up on like cults for sale. I know in the EDC world, or Leatherman world, there's not a whole lot of people who do 3D printing, so I don't know how much people would want to buy the STLs, but if I made the parts available, or if I sold stuff on Etsy. I was considering doing that. I don't know how much interest there is, but I'm also curious what people would be interested in for side implements. If there's additional things that people like to carry that they think would work well on the sides of the holsters, I'm curious for that. I do have a blank template for one of these side implements that doesn't have anything on it, and so I was gonna share that STL as well, so that people could, and I could put just like the dimensions of the snap fit. The length runs the whole length, but you can obviously make it any length you want because it snaps in at the bottom, and so that kind of gives some flexibility there. I figured people could design their own side attachments. So those were my ideas. I'm curious what the community thinks of it. Thanks.